Hey friends, welcome to my place. My name is Dave. Good to have you here. Really good to have you here. Now, a subscriber, D Knight, he mentioned that he would like to see, in comparison of these two. This is Green Iris Tweed by Creed, and the other one is Parfum Vintage. This is Verbena Fields. Now, I did a side by side for the last a day and a half since yesterday. Other than that, I also asked three other people, one guy and then two girls. So that makes two guys and two girls. There's a reason for it. So after I tested and then I went to ask the guy, actually my brother, he's a little bit younger than me. He said they're super, super, super similar. And after I have him close his eyes, he can figure out which is which. I mean, he said there's a tiny, tiny nuance that is a bit different, and and I feel exactly the same way as he does. Okay, and the best way I could describe that is feel like they're the same, but then they kind of mix the ingredients just back and forth just a bit in different orders, but you could tell they're the same stuff. And the percentage I personally will give it is about 90 to 95% similar. That's how close I think they are. But then later after that, I was feeling pretty confident. Okay, two for two, two guys think that's pretty similar. So I went to ask two lady friends. Now, both of them had two things to say. Number one is they don't like it. Neither of them like it. Okay. Now, the second thing they said was, one of them said it smelled like rubber on the tire, a little bit rubbery. And then the second one says something else, but both of them feel that they're not the same. Actually, in fact, they said they're quite different. So that kind of got me all confused. I know that scents are subjective. I always say that. But to have such a big difference between what the two guys smell versus the two girls. So I was pretty distraught, to say the least. So I don't know how to proceed. So I'm just gonna go by my own taste, okay, from the guy's perspective. All right. So for those of you that are not familiar with either of this, the top we getting the like the name says, it's gonna be lemon verbena. So if you don't know what that smells like, basically it's a lemon with a little bit of green or herbaceous undertone. So get a mixture of that. And then we're going to get fresh lavender, fresh violet leaf, fresh iris, fresh bergamot. There's some ambergris, there's some musk, and there's some metallic vibe to it. Yeah, all this combination. Now, like I said, it's about 90 to 95, so there's still 5 to 10% differences, okay? But the thing is, because I feel like the notes are just kind of, put in different order as the time goes on, from the beginning to the dry down. There at times is super, super similar, like, 95%. And at times it's just back away just a bit, like 90%. Especially during the middle of the dry down, I think the Parfum Vintage is fresher throughout the life, while Creed, after 5 or 10 minutes, is kind of, the freshness kind of dimmed down, okay? And then the woodiness came out a little bit more than the verbena field. All right. Now here's the thing though. I bought this Parfum Vintage at the start of the pandemic, around that time. So it's the early 2020s. All right. I cannot vouch for anything after that. This, I can only base on my bottle. The longevity is good, around at least 5 or 6 hours. On my skin, that's pretty good because I have dry skin. It soaks up the fragrances. Creed, I bought it even earlier than that. So as I was testing this day and a half, I keep on trying to remember what was it like in the very beginning. And somehow in my mind, I feel it's a little bit different than what I remembered. And there's something else in here that I want to mention is on both. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of in a negative term, especially in the beginning, about the beginning through around 10 minutes. I smell a little bit like dirty water, like like water, but not in a good way. Like water, not watery notes, but just like water, as if you get water from faucet. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Faucet water, that is like old water. I don't know how to describe it. That sounds so bad, but it does come out to my nose that way. But when I spray on my shirt, it does not come out that way. So I can only imagine that it's reacting negatively on my skin. And maybe I'm guessing that's where the two ladies are thinking about tires, rubber on the tire. So I think that's where they're coming from. I get that, and it's a little bit annoying because it's not pleasant to my nose. But on my shirt, it's okay. So I don't know if you're gonna get everybody's skin chemistry is gonna be different. I just had to let you know that's what I picked up. It took me a while to figure out what that kind of a negative smell is, and then I kind of think it's like foul water, and that's the best way I can describe it. But throughout the life, the verbena, the lemon verbena is going to be the strongest notes in both. Both does smell. To me, what I describe is kind of metallic because it's more of a cold, freezing type of smell, and both absolutely does smell like you're walking on the field, on the verbena field. You smelling the flower, and it's gorgeous. But unlike some people who will put this as their love, like top, it has Creed. This Green Irish Tree has never been a love for me. I enjoy it. I like it. That's why I bought a Inspire fragrance. I knew what I was buying when I got into it, because Creed is, as everybody know, that is quite pricey. Over 200. I picked this up over 200 for 100 mil, for over $200 for 100 mil. So I kind of using it sparingly, so I had to buy something else to be able to use it more often. Now, with that said, I also have Armaf Tres Nuit, which is a very budgeted clone of Green Irish Tweed. Now, I first sprayed that in the initial comparison, but that one is obviously less quality for sure. Once I sprayed it and side by side, all three of them, I can tell right away. The Tres Nuit is good. If I don't do a side by side, I would think, oh, it's really, really close. But once you put it side by side, the quality difference is very obvious. The Tres Nuit very quickly become a little bit more hollow. And that to me, a lot of time is a sign of the ingredients is not enough, or is not more compact enough, or is not, just basically just feel like something is missing. Yeah, I feel that for the Tres Nuit, so I stopped, doing the comparison. But for these two, I basically, for a day and a half, I just spray it on in the morning, and then throughout the day, I'll smell it, and then up to a point where I kind of got annoyed that I have to, basically, it's like doing the homework. I have to doing research and have to smell it every half an hour. So, and like I said, it's not like my love, and it's not my favorite fragrance in the first place. So I had to keep smelling all day, all night, and then trying to dissect it. So I was just a bit annoyed, but I still did it. It's still enjoyable in some sense of a word. Well, with that said, my favorite from Creed is this guy, Royal Mayfair. To me, it's just very different. It does smell feminine, okay, but then it's so refreshing. Yeah, there's something unique about this that I really like. So with that said, this is my favorite, just FYI. If since I said I don't like the Creed as much, but now as far as the qualities, like I said, the Tres Nuit was the least. Okay, these two are very, very comparable. Like I said, I had my brother close his eyes, and then he was getting confused. Now, all three of them are newbies to the fragrance hobby. They don't work fragrance themselves, so they could care less. But when it's good, they will let me know, and when it's not, they will let me know as well. Both me and my brother, we think it's good, okay, but it's not like, wow, I gotta have it. He did not ask me, any information about it. He thought it was pretty okay. With that said, it's the quality is here. Since especially if I compare it with the other ones, okay, the Tres Nuit. Okay, well, that's out of the way. The performance, it's like I said, about 5 hours at least. And I would think this is leaning more unisex towards the masculine side. Now, the reason I say unisex because I really enjoy the classics, especially the powerhouses from the 70s and the 80s. And if you're familiar with those, they are very distinct as far as the men's fragrance. They're very, very masculine. The ladies' fragrance, they're very feminine. And there's a very clear distinction of the two. So that is kind of my meter, what I judge as far as, which side it leans. And with that as a meter, as a barometer to judge this, yeah, I think they both lean very unisex, but towards the masculine side, just a bit. To my nose, to my preference. Okay, so with that say, hey, if your meter is different, then that's fine. Okay, but when I smell the like polo green, right? When I smell like all those powerhouses, yeah, it's hard for me to say this is as masculine as that. It's just my personal taste. Hey, now there's the other notes that I mentioned, like bergamot, iris, and ambergris, and some woodiness, some musk, all right, lavender, iris. But the main thing is the verbena, lemon verbena is so strong on both of this. It's going to stay throughout the life. It dominates, okay? Basically, it's like, I would say, let's say it's 70% lemon verbena. Everything else is taking the back seat. That's how strong it is. Even though you could, pick out the other notes. Okay, don't get me wrong, it doesn't just smell like lemon verbena, but everything else is in the back. So they're afraid to raise their hand, but they say, we here, while the lemon verbena is standing out front showing everybody who's the boss, right? That's what I'm saying. Now, okay, what else? This is very versatile. You could wear it to any occasion. I absolutely think this could fit in for high scale scenarios, for parties, wear suits, all right, to awards. Okay, you could wear this for sure. This does smell nice. If I don't put my nose to my skin, I will not smell the little negative, the foul water thing I was talking about. It was because I was trying to dig so deep into the differences, right? Trying to dissect it, that I smell that, but as I'm like smelling normally, like half a feet away, I don't smell that. So just like the shirts. But with that said, I think it's my skin chemistry. So I'm not gonna put, I'm not gonna deduct point for that. Okay. So with that said, number one, the comparison is super close, 90 to 95%. Longevity is good, at least 5 or 6 hours. Bear in mind, I bought this like in the 2020s, and this one like a few years even before that. But I have to say, I do think that it does smell just a bit different than I remember. I don't know, it's because I have more experience with fragrances now. I smell more stuff, so it changes how I perceive them. But with that said, yeah, I wear this usually. Yeah, I don't wear it too often. Like I said, I try to save it, and also it's not super loved, but I'll wear sparingly. And I'll wear this in the morning or to the gym, which people don't really wear this to the gym, right? It does have a very refreshing, uplifting vibe to it. That's what it smells like. It's like I said, it's a little bit metallic in a cold way, a little bit freezing type of way. I like when a scent is a little bit like freezing, okay, and it feels very nice, especially in the warm weather. But I like to wear this in the cold weather to imagine the coziness, and you put this on, there's a sensation that is really, really very intriguing. It's very nice. Imagine like eating icy in a soup while it's snowing. Okay, try that. I actually tried. I was eating popsicle in the snow, and it's cool. Anyhow, a sidetrack. So with that said, I hope that is helpful. If I'm missing anything else, let me know. But I think I cover all this stuff. So I hope that is helpful on D9s. Okay, both are really good quality. With that said, I hope it's helpful. Thumbs up, subscribe, all those goodies. See you next time.